everybody, I'm going to take you through a little journey of something I experience on a day-to-day basis. And at the end, I want you to form your own conclusion, do your own research, come up, prove me wrong, or add to what I'm saying. So there's a scenario at my work. I do manufacturing and wholesale distribution, right? People come, installers come to me for a price. They want the lowest price they can get. They place that bid, and they either win it or they don't. Typically, general contractors are going to go, maybe not necessarily with the lowest bid, but that definitely is a huge contributing factor. So imagine a reality that this process is going on. Like I said, bids are being placed. The wholesale manufacturer settles into a nice price that it's offering the material, like what I'm talking about, it's like aluminum. So you have 17 million Mexicans or whatever number, come in seasonal. Maybe they have visas, or maybe they just come here illegally, whatever. So how does cheap labor help America? They talk about, well, it's good for America. Well, don't they? Isn't that just a veiled way to say it's good for rich people? And I was watching, they're doing the same thing in Britain with the Brits and the Polish. If you don't want immigrants, you're a racist, which how they're racist against Polish people, I don't really understand that, but whatever. But the deal is, you got cheap labor. So you don't have cheap labor. Say you had your $15, $16 an hour laborers, and you're placing your bid appropriately. Well, some guy blows you out of the water, you lose the bid. Maybe you see a glimpse at his crew, and it's nothing but Mexicans. 3 or 4 white guy foremans and just a army of Mexicans. And they win more and more bids, which, in my experience, totally happens. That's real. That's not imaginary. That's not made up. I've seen it with my own eyes. Moved to North Carolina, tried to get a labor position for a painter. There wasn't any ads in the paper. They weren't even asking for any. And then I started noticing vans of white people driving, and sometimes even Mexicans driving, just full, completely fully staffed. You are correct when you say that they do the jobs white people don't want to do, but you're leaving out the final part for that price, and it's brutal. So, but that's not really what I'm talking about. So you take this idea and stretch it a little further. So now because somebody is saving money on their labor, they're putting lower bids down, and then that becomes the new norm. That becomes the new price. Now installers aren't making the margin. They're going to have to drop theirs down to compete, to get jobs. So budgets for building go down. You want to talk about stagnated, wages for 2 decades. Well, to me, it's just simple. Rich people can build buildings for cheaper. There's a competitive market going on for unskilled labor, and that's why they're stagnating. You have new people coming in all the time, and it's silly when they're just like, well, they work hard for $10 an hour or $9 an hour, and they almost pretend like they're being exploited, but that's just ridiculous. Man, the money they send home, like what I cannot live on for a week, they get sent back to Mexico and take care of a large family for possibly a month. Their buying power with the U.S. dollar in Mexico is just huge. Or they wouldn't do it. They're not stupid. They're actually very disciplined, hardworking people. They come here in force, 5 or 6 to a room, live next to that situation before. They go out, work all day, just have mass amounts of cash on them. Like go to, on Friday, go to a Walmart and go to the service desk. And, go to a Walmart where there's a lot of apartments, basically. Don't go to your, best neighborhoods with $450,000 houses. Go to the one where there's just apartment complex built right behind it. And go in there and watch people ship out 2, 3. I've seen one guy had to break up into multiple shipments to send $6,000. I was just like, he just kept pulling wads of cash out. And like I said, that's fine. That's not really the point of why I'm saying any of this stuff. It's just like stagnant wages. How does 17 million, anybody coming into this country, good for me, and they want to talk about like, oh, they want to do the jobs that we want to do for the price, man. It's not a free market. You know what I mean? It's not a market inside the U.S. borders. They're bringing in cheap labor, and where they're making the white worker obsolete. Like, I mean, like you either go off to college and pay off your student loan, make a shit ton of money, pack around some white guilt, and be like, yeah, I made it. Like me, like I'm left out in the cold, and I have to fight very, very hard. Like, I basically was telling my wife why I'm a Republican and why I'm against mass immigration and why I'm against a lot of things. Now, I'll go into that in later videos, but basically, what does liberalism offer me? Like, what I would be stupid to purposely support something that's never going to offer me a benefit, that's always going to take from me, and is never going to help me. I'm getting ready to have my first child, and I want to have two. I can't afford the daycare. I can't afford the daycare. But somebody with assisted living and like getting stuff from the government can have 4, no sweat. And granted, I probably have more stuff than they do, but not a lot. Alright, just a recap. Stagnant wages is very simple to explain. If you have a constant flow of cheap labor coming in, how? I mean, what scenario? Please, if you went to college and studied this, educate me how that scenario drives wages up. The middle class is just dwindling. The working class is struggling. So I'm going to make videos, and I'm going to make a lot of them. Because even if nobody listens to them, maybe, just maybe, one person can take a few things from what I said, relate to it, and maybe pick up the torch and start making videos themselves. I want to take a shout out to Milo and Louder Crowder and Ben Shapiro. I mean, these guys, they're inspired me. I'll never be as fantastic as they are, but you know what? It's almost like a vote. I want to have a voice on the internet, and I want, like I said, at least one person to maybe be inspired by one video I make, and maybe they start making videos too.